Nehemiah 8. And all the people gathered together as one man in the open square. So Ezra the priest brought the law before the assembly of men and women. And Ezra blessed Yahweh, the great God, and all the people answered, Amen, Amen, while lifting up their hands. And they bowed their heads and worshipped Yahweh with their faces to the ground. So they read from the book in the law of God distinctly, and they gave the sense and helped them to understand the reading. All the people wept when they heard the words of the law. And he said to them, Go your way, eat the fat, and drink the sweet, and send portions to those for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy to our Yahweh. And do not sorrow, for the joy of Yahweh is your strength. So the Levites quieted all the people, saying, Be still, for the day is holy, and do not be grieved. And all the people went their way to eat and drink and to send portions, and rejoiced greatly, because they understood the words that were declared. So the whole assembly of those who had returned from the captivity made booths, and sat under the booths. For since the days of Joshua the son of Nun, the sons of Israel had not done so until that day, and there was very great gladness. And he read from the book of the law of God day by day, from the first day until the last day. And they kept the feast 7 days. And on the 8th day there was a sacred assembly, according to the prescribed manner. Nehemiah 9. And on the 24th day of this month the sons of Israel were assembled with fasting, and in sackcloth, and with dust on their heads. And the seed of Israel separated themselves from all strangers, foreigners. And they stood and confessed on their sins and the iniquities of their fathers. And they stood up in their place and read from the book of the law of Yahweh their God for a fourth of the day. And for another fourth they confessed and worshipped Yahweh their God. Bless Yahweh your God from forever and ever. Blessed be your glorious name, which is exalted above all blessing and praise. You alone are Yahweh. You have made heaven, the heaven of heavens, with all their host, the earth and everything on it, the seas and all that is in them, and you preserve them all. And the host of heaven worships you. You are God, ready to pardon, gracious and merciful, slow to anger and abundant in kindness. You, in your manifold mercies, did not forsake. You gave your good spirit to instruct, and did not withhold your manna. You heard from heaven, and you delivered them, according to your mercies, many times. You had patience with them for many years, and testified against them by your spirit in your prophets, and yet they would not listen. Therefore you gave them into the hand of the peoples of the lands. Nevertheless, in your great mercy, you did not utterly consume them, nor forsake them. For God, you are gracious and merciful. You have dealt faithfully, but we have done wickedly. Nehemiah 10. And if the peoples of the land brought wares or any grain on the Sabbath day to sell, we would not buy it from them on the Sabbath, or on a holy day, and we would forego the 7th year's produce and the exacting of every debt, and we will not neglect the house of our God. Nehemiah 11. All the people blessed the men who willingly offered themselves to dwell at Jerusalem. Nehemiah 12. And at the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, they sought out the Levites in all their places to bring them to Jerusalem, to celebrate the dedication with gladness, and both with thanksgiving and singing, with cymbals and stringed instruments and harps.